Planning is not work. Planning is procrastinating. Many people use planning as a noble way to procrastinate. They say, I'm planning, I'm waiting till I'm ready, I'm waiting till it's smart, and all that is procrastination and fear dressed up. It makes you feel better about yourself, but you're just doing the same thing you did. You're just lying to yourself. Did you work out or didn't you? You didn't? You're the same. You're exactly the same. Change your environment, create a vision for yourself, and just start moving. Hi everyone, welcome to the Rising Father Podcast. I'm Chris Rodack. This episode is for the father who just doesn't know why he can't find the motivation to get moving. He used to be in shape, he used to work out all the time, he used to have energy, but it's been 5 to 10 years or more, and he just doesn't know why he can't get his ass off the couch. He doesn't know why. He wants to, badly. Sometimes he wants to. Sometimes he's really motivated, sometimes he's not, but he just doesn't know why. I get this message all the time. This is on tons of the applications I get from Fire. And I pulled one up just to read it word for word. Someone said, I truly don't know why I can't find my motivation to get off my ass. I miss the energy I used to require of my body by working out, being active. I've worked out all my life since I was 13, but these last 8 years I've been lousy. And I get some sort of version of that many, many times. It could be 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, doesn't matter. But fathers get into this phase of their life where they just don't feel energized anymore. They haven't worked out consistently for a decade. And there was a time in their life when they used to. Like, they remember being in shape. They remember being athletic. They remember having energy and running around and doing things. And it seems like a different person. Whenever they have those memories, it's almost hard to comprehend. Like, who is that guy? How do I get back to that guy? It's honestly hard to even comprehend being that person whenever you're stuck how you are. And you really want to be that person, but you've changed. You've changed your identity. You now have the identity of somebody who kind of sits around a lot. And especially if your job is sedentary, if your job is a desk job and you don't have a stand-up walking pad. Tons of guys in my group have walking pads now. The guys with desk jobs, they stand up and have walking pads to get steps in. And it spread like a virus. I got it, another person got it, then another person got it, and like 50 people have walking pads, and we're all doing our work on walking pads. It's the benefit of being around people like that. But if you don't have that and you're just kind of sitting at a desk job and you used to do jobs like landscaping or used to be on your feet, and you're tired when you go to work, then you sit around all day staring at a computer, and then you're tired when you go home, and then you have tasks and projects to do when you go home. You're tired for those, and then you want to be present and energetic for your family, and you're not, so you feel bad, and then it makes you more exhausted and tired, and you have to repeat the same thing, and you're like, I've got another 15 years to do this until I can retire and be tired. It's a depressing point of view. It's a depressing mindset to be in, but millions of fathers feel like that. It's just this continuous spiral and cycle of being tired, exhausted, not knowing what to do, and there's no reason to stay there. I understand if you're there, but there's no reason to stay there. That state is a feeling bad for yourself, sorry state, where you just spiral with bad feelings. Like, you feel bad, and that makes you want to get a drink or eat or smoke or stare at a screen, which makes you more lazy, and then you feel worse, and then you do more things to make you not feel bad, and then you just continually spiral, and you're gaining more weight, you're not working out. You need a change in environment. The world you're living in is a lazy world meant to keep you where you are. I'm trying to say it in a perfect way. Definitely didn't happen, but I'll try to say it again. Your environment makes a massive impact on who you are. A couple podcasts ago, I think this is the last one. I was walking through the woods, and I did my podcast as I was walking through the woods, and just being in that environment had an effect on me. And the whole podcast was about creating a new normal for yourself. So definitely listen to that one if you haven't. So I think the title is What is Your Normal? Something like that. But your environment that you've created for yourself is one of complacency, one of ease, one of not pushing. You need to get into an environment where the opposite is happening, like the rising father environment, that kind of environment where we're all fathers. We all have demanding jobs. We all have businesses. We all have kids. We all have mortgages and wives. We all have babies waking up in the middle of the night. We all have operations and surgeries. Everyone's sick. But at the same time, we meet and we fire each other up and we say, no, this isn't going to be an excuse. We're going to work really hard. We're going to push each other. You need to find an environment of guys who are like that. Just being in a group of guys is good, but you have to also analyze, what is that group of guys like? Like, many guys will tell me when I'll talk to them about Men of Fire, like, yeah, I'm already in a church group. I say, okay, I get it. What's your church group like? Like, well, we meet every Sunday. We have donuts. Sometimes, there's a guy I was talking to. He's like, his church group, they meet, they eat donuts, and they drink beer. It's like, and then they talk about God. It's like, okay, that's good that you're meeting and you're talking about God, but the focus of what this is and the environment for you to change who you are physically, mentally, needs to be a different environment. Like, you need people who are pushing you to change yourself. Yes, we'll talk, but we're going to back those words up with action and habits and systems, and we're going to push it. We're going to say, if we can, let's cut off some of the alcohol or all of the alcohol if you want to. Let's quit smoking. Let's quit looking at screens so much. That's the environment of the kind of guys you need to be around. Whenever you're in a job that is just sedentary, you're sitting at a desk, you're staring at a screen, the office is dark and you just hours and hours on a day sitting down. That world that you're living in, that bubble, is made for complacency physically. You could be a super high performer in your job. You could be crushing it, making good money, being very valuable and very skilled at what you do. And maybe you love what you're doing too, but specifically I'm talking to this kind of person. Like, this podcast is about a specific topic of somebody who's physically let themselves go. That's kind of what this episode's geared towards. So that can happen. So to read this again, this guy said, I used to be disciplined. I kind of work at my own pace, drag myself around, and I don't put forth the effort in that I would expect of other people. So he's talking about being a hypocrite. Like, I expect my kids and family to put in a certain amount of discipline and effort, but I don't even put in the own effort myself. So imagine that. Imagine being in that headspace where you expect other people to, you expect other people to be healthy, to be disciplined and energized, but you yourself, you're not demonstrating that. And also you've allowed yourself to be complacent, and you just don't know why you can't find the motivation or energy to get yourself up. You feel really stuck in that moment. Like, you feel really, really stuck mentally and physically in that spot. To touch on church groups again, I'm in no means devaluing church or people that meet in church. I'm in church groups. I go to church every Sunday with my family, but I also am in men's programs and men's groups, and they're two different things. I was giving one specific example from, I used that church group because a guy literally told me about that. There's other guys who talk to me about men's programs, and there's somebody who's in a really well-known male influencers men program, and he's like, yeah, we got together and same thing. He's like, we were just drinking, we were bitching about our wives, and it's like, okay, well, what's the point? What's the point of doing that? Like, that's not what I'm doing. That's not what this is about. This is about massive transformation, not just getting together and bitching. That's why I'm saying you need to be very aware of what is in your environment and the voices that are filling your head. Like the excuses you give yourself. In my world, we want to eliminate those excuses. Are you surrounding yourself with people who are enabling your excuses? Like when you tell yourself, it's okay if I skip the gym today, does the person in your corner say, yeah, it's okay that you do that, you deserve it? Or are you around people who say, no, get your butt up, you deserve to be in shape? Two very different types of voices that have a massively different impact on who you are. So you'll find yourself, this kind of person will find themselves aging and making more excuses to themselves, get day by day, allowing themselves more and more breaks, more I deserve it's. And as they do that, the body goes, the motivation goes, they just get more sleepy, more tired. Are you going to be more or less tired if you are pushing your body all the time and working out all the time and eating healthy? Well, obviously, right? You're going to be less tired. If you're sitting around and living a tired life, are you going to be more or less tired? You're going to be more tired. At first, whenever you go, like say it's been 15 years since you've worked out consistently, and today's the day. So you go to the gym for the first day today, and you really push yourself. You work really, really hard. You're going to be physically tired, but the kind of energy I'm talking about is an energy that is more powerful than your physical energy. It's the energy you have within your spirit, your soul, your mind. That's the kind of energy where if you come home from work and you have that inner fire is what I'm talking about. That will get you to get up and run around and play with your kids. Even if you're physically tired, that inner fire you get from pushing yourself once again, from seeing your body change once again, that inner fire can get you off the couch and get you moving. Even if you're physically tired. Whenever you're physically tired and you have no fire left, you have your confidence is dying, you have no motivation you're not around guys who are pushing themselves, you're just surrounded by complacent people, then it's going to be impossibly hard for you to do that. Because your chance is to listen to other people, like maybe this podcast or read a book or somebody on social media that inspires you to get moving. You could do that. But that has to be enough to get you to do it on your own, like your own soul willpower. It's very, very hard to do that. The easier way is to be with a large group of people who think the same way in terms of being positive and pushing yourself. Then you have positive motivation and positive momentum instead of working against momentum every day. Like when you're going by yourself, it's just you against yourself every single day. You against your own thoughts, constantly battling yourself. But as soon as you get around, people who are actively doing that, it's a great feeling. It's like when you go to a marathon. My wife just did the Pittsburgh Marathon a couple weeks ago. She's running this race with thousands of people. It's a lot easier to run a marathon when you're with thousands of people than if you're by yourself running 13 and a half miles with nobody around cheering you on. You're not in a group of people. Like she looks around and sees people who look like her, people who are in more shape than her, less shape than her, all running, doing the same thing. And that provides momentum and motivation to do it. Like she ran the marathon with one of her best friends, and every mile they're taking pictures and videos and high-fiving. Like that environment was very conducive to her finishing the marathon. If she was by herself, it would have been 100 times harder. It's the same thing where if you're at work and it's just you sitting down, staring at a screen, it's dark, you're around people who bitch about their wives, and everyone's eating and drinking all day, and like no one is motivated to get themselves to improve themselves. It's like you're that marathoner just running alone. You're relying solely on yourself, and you do not get any bonus points. There's no secret level up you get if you do it alone. It just takes you a lot longer. Why not do the thing that will propel you faster, and you also make connections, you'll network with people, you'll make friends, you'll be less lonely, you'll feel better about yourself, and then you can also help other people. That's the power of a brotherhood. That's the power of being with people and taking and not isolating. Too many guys are isolating. So why do you want to be energetic, and why do you want to fix yourself? Well, it's because then you can be the best version of yourself. Then you can be the best version of yourself for your family. You can have energy to keep up with the kids. You can lead by example. You don't make so many excuses for yourself. You can be present for your wife. You can regain your discipline to be active, to get back working out. Even if your work is sedentary, you can still be the person you want to be. You don't have to be defined by the work you do. That's why you want to put in the work to rise right now and be your absolute best. So if you ask yourself, like, what is the state of my current health? What would you say? So what is the state of my current health? What is the state of my current discipline? What is the state of my consistency? What is the state of my energy level? And if the answer to that is bad, poor, used to be in shape but not now, then it's time to do something about it. If it's good, okay, are you saying it is actually really good, or are you saying it's good enough? And good enough should not be good enough for you. Your life should not be defined by good enough. When people talk about you after you pass, do you want them to say, yeah, he was good enough? No. And how can we not be remembered as being good enough? It's by not being good enough in any area of our life. It's by making sure that we are excelling and pushing ourselves in every area, and that includes our bodies. That includes physically. Do not allow the one body you are given to be wasted. Don't wake up at 60 years old and say, oh, I guess I need to get it together. If you do have an awakening at 60 years old, by all means, do it. I've told many examples of guys in their 60s and 70s who are ripped and running around, but those guys didn't start at 60 and 70. They started at like 20 and 30. So if you're in your 30s and 40s right now, do not waste these precious years and make your life 100 times harder as an adult. Add decades of life onto your life. And what I mean by that is the quality of life. So whenever you are 50 to 80 years old, let's say, we all want to live till we're 100, but let's just say, what's the average lifespan? Let me Google it real quick. 77. Oof, I thought it was more than that. That's 2002. United Kingdom's 82, Canada's 81. United States, we're 5 years less than the UK. Oof, what are you guys doing? So we have all the processed foods over here. I don't know what it is. Man, so in the U.S., it's 77. So we're going to use that. The quality of life you could have from the age of 50 to 77 will look like what if you keep making excuses to yourself, if you keep skipping the gym, if you keep eating poorly, if you keep drinking, if you keep smoking, if you keep living a sedentary life and not being active. What will your life look like? Think about 50-year-old people 60-year-old people 70-year-old people Go to Walmart. Go to your local amusement park. Go to the mall. Look at people. Look at the various kinds of people you see. I've used this guy three podcasts now when I was doing my brotherhood call. This 65-year-old guy sprinting around with a six-pack around the field. You could be that at 65, or you could be the guy who can barely walk and needs two people to help him out and can't play with his kids and grandkids. You could also be that guy. This other guy, he can play with his kids, grandkids, he can probably beat all of them up and can beat all of them in a foot race. This morning, I just got back from my gym. There's this old lady, she's 70 years old. She's got veins in her biceps. She's there every single day working, constantly pushing her body. I think some of us have a disconnect between the importance of our bodies and the importance of our minds and how we feel. It's not this aesthetic, selfish pursuit to want to look good. It encompasses 100% of you. You are existing within your body. Every word you speak comes through your body. Every thought you have comes through the health of your brain. Everything you see comes through your eyes. Our body is made up of what we are eating and what we do with it. So every 100% of your existence hinges on how you maintain your body and your mind. And even our minds are made up of, material that comes from the food we eat, that comes from, are we sleeping good? Are we making sure we're getting good sleep? Are we making sure we're hydrating good? Are we making sure we're getting good nutrition? If you're healthier physically, you think more clearly. You can speak more clearly. You have better thoughts. If you're getting good sleep, you can think more clearly. You have better thoughts. You can make better decisions. 100% of your existence hinges on your body. Like if you have a heart attack, if your heart fails, if your body fails, you're dead. If you get cancer and your body fails, you're no more. Are there things that we can do to stop the percentage chance that we get cancer? Are there things we can do to stave off heart attacks and strokes? Yes. All those things start to compound whenever we're in our 50s, 60s, 70s. Let me do some more Googling here. My intention isn't to just terrify you, but it's to, if you need an awakening right now, don't run from this. Don't cover your ears and say, I don't want to listen to this. If you need to hear this, just let it sink in. If it stings a little bit, let it sting, and then make a change. The things that will help you the most are the things that hurt the most, the things that are going to sting the most. So let's look this up. 66. Okay. How about heart attack? 65. 66, 65. What did I say? Stroke. Average age people get stroke. 71. So 66, 65, 71. Let's see. Average age obese people die. 58. Average life expectancy is 77. Average life expectancy for those who are obese is 58. Okay? It's a BMI of 40 or higher. So let's see. Average age drinkers die. And obviously there's some objectivity here with how much do people drink, whether genetic, all that kind of stuff. I'm just doing a quick Google. Okay, 47 to 53. If you're a serious drinker. It says the average age of death for people with alcohol use disorder is significantly lower than the general population, often around 60 years old. So that's alcohol use disorder, which facts about this is cdc.gov. Some of you are like, oh, I don't trust that. I know. But this is just a government thing. This is about alcohol use. This is just stats on alcohol use. It says excessive alcohol use is leading preventable cause of death in the U.S. About 178,000 people die from drinking each year, from excessive drinking each year. These deaths occur from both drinking alcohol over several years or drinking too much on one occasion. 178,000 deaths each year. This was a 29% increase from just a few years earlier. So that's 2020, 2021. So that's not good. All right. So I'm not going to do any more scary stats, but those are just some quick Google stats. But honestly, it's easy to ignore those stats because they're scary and they're not fun to think about. And if you're listening to this and you are somebody who fits in one of those categories, sorry if you're watching, my eyes are starting to water. Very dry. It's like very dry in Pittsburgh today. Or maybe I'm crying. But anyway, if you're someone listening to this and you find yourself in one of those categories, then, okay, it stings, it hurts a little bit, but this is your chance to make a change. This is your chance to do something about it. This is your calling. You need to say, I recognize this is me. It's time for me to get in and do the work. So what do you have to do? Change your environment. It's time to make a change. It's time to stop listening to people who encourage your weakness and excuse. It's time to stop hanging out with people who are like somebody you do not want to be. Like, are all the people you hang out with people you want to be like 5-10 years from now? Would you be happy if your daughter married one of your friends? No? Okay, maybe it's time we get some new friends. Maybe it's time we fill our brain with people who want to be healthy, disciplined, want to be leaders of the family, want to live selflessly, not selfishly. Be really aware of who is filling your brain and what your environment is. So, game plan time. If you find yourself in that state of no energy, out of shape, bad habits, complacent, you feel like crap, you felt like crap for years, you can't find the motivation, you can't find the inspiration to get off your butt and work out again. You know you're not giving a good example for your kids. The relationship with your wife is suffering because of it. There's less passion. There's less intimacy. You're giving yourself more excuses. You're having trouble being patient and present. All of these things. If that is you, here's your game plan. Number one, change your environment. Get into an environment of motivation and inspiration and people who choose to challenge themselves, not people who are constantly seeking balance, people who are constantly seeking ease, people who are constantly seeking comfortable. Okay? There's a time to seek balance. But if you are, as I just described, that is not your time. Like whenever you're consuming content, you have to take into consideration, who is this person talking to? Which that's why on this podcast I keep on repeating the kind of person I'm talking to on the other side of this, who's listening. There's sometimes I'll talk specifically to people who have a marriage problem. This is specifically the physical person. So this is for the person who is in a physical hole, has been stuck for years, and their entire life is suffering because of it. This is not time for you to be balanced. This is time for you to go all in, work harder than ever, and sacrifice more than ever so you can reclaim your life. You're not living balanced right now. You can't be balanced, say, I want balance, if you're not living balanced. Balanced for you would be you're working out every day. You're eating healthy every day. That would be, but you're not even doing that. You're very unbalanced in the opposite way. If you are already in great shape, if your marriage is great, if your parenting is great, if you have a very intimate connection with your wife, your income is going good, and you have great habits and discipline, then you're living a balanced life. Okay, you can balance exercise, eating healthy. You can have a drink. You can have a dessert now and then, and you can spend time with your family. And you can be present, and you live a balanced life. You can afford to be balanced. But be honest with yourself. Can you afford to, should you be putting equal amount of time and resources into each of these buckets? If you have a higher chance of dying of stroke, heart attack, developing cancer, of getting divorced, should you be spending as much time drinking and eating dessert and watching TV as a guy whose marriage is thriving, who's 9% body fat, has tons of energy, has a six-pack, has great habits, and is disciplined? No. And that guy isn't doing that anyway because he's balanced. So, whenever I quit my teaching job two years ago, I was not balanced at all because I wanted to quit my job. If I was okay, well, you can't work on the weekends. You can't work at nighttime. You can't wake up early because you need to be balanced, whatever that means. I would never have quit my job. But I said, no, I'm in an unbalanced phase of my life right now. I must move my life ahead. I don't want to be here forever. So I'm willing to suffer the pain of an unbalanced life. I'm willing to put in the work required for me to move my life ahead. I don't need comfort and ease and downtime. What I need is to not be stepped on by a boss. That's what I need. So that meant more to me than balance. So give yourself a little analysis. What phase of life am I in right now? Am I in a phase where I need to be seeking comfort, I need to be seeking rest and downtime, or am I in a phase where I need to reclaim my life right now? And then define a clear goal and vision for yourself. Same thing I tell the guys in my group is you need a clear vision, you need a clear goal. You can't leave this up in the air. I kind of want to get in shape, I kind of don't want to know. Define exactly what you want to do and then go for it. So step one is change your environment. And I kind of just gave you step two, is give yourself a clear goal, clear vision. Step three is just start moving, walk into the fog. That is step three. Just start moving. Stop searching for hours for the perfect workout program, the perfect diet plan, None of that matters. You're just procrastinating. You're just putting off the work in the guise of doing work. Planning is not work. Planning is procrastinating. For the most part. Okay, if you're going on an RV trip across the country, you got a plan, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the guy who's drinking and eating and sedentary, and instead of getting down and just drinking water and doing some push-ups, he spends 2 weeks living the same way because he doesn't have the right macros. No, just move. You're making excuses. You're giving yourself the easy way out, and once again, you're avoiding work. Many people use planning as a noble way to procrastinate. They say, I'm planning, I'm waiting till I'm ready, I'm waiting till it's smart, and all that is procrastination and fear dressed up. It makes you feel better about yourself, but you're just doing the same thing you did. You're exactly the same as the guy who's not working out because he doesn't feel like it, but he's honest about it. You're not being honest about it. You're saying, I'm waiting because I'm smart, or I'm waiting because I don't like to rush things. Well, okay, you've been saying that for 15 years. You're just lying to yourself. You're just dishonest. This guy's honest. He's saying, I'm not working out because I'm lazy. You're saying, I'm not working out because I'm a planner. Okay, doesn't matter. If nobody heard you speak and we could only see what you did, you'd have the exact same results. So I don't care what noises are coming out of your mouth. Did you work out or didn't you? You didn't? You're the same. You're exactly the same. So here's your battle plan. Change your environment, create a vision for yourself, and just start moving. Get a walking pad, get up, start taking extra steps, stop drinking, stop smoking. Those things are easier if you have a better environment. Stop drinking pop, stop drinking so much juice, start drinking more water. Easy substitutions. And if you stay disciplined and consistent at these easy substitutions, then over time, you will change. Not today. It's taken you years to develop the bad habits and body that you have right now. You're not going to change it in days, probably not months. Okay? So you must be consistent. You must be disciplined. You must set your expectations, but you must just move. Do not move because everything isn't perfect for you. Just get moving.